Hello again, everyone. We are Gaming by Gaslight, and welcome back to what is probably going to be the grand spanking finale to our Hail to the King, aka Hail to the Qing, EU4, Rights of Man 1.19, Manchuria, Super, Ultra, Horde Edition, Run thing, whatever it is that we have been doing exactly. But anyway, this is probably going to be the finale, because I'm about ready to wrap this series up and move on to, something new. However, there is interest in seeing continued Manchurian conquests, so I figure what I might do is, after we clean up our borders here, I think technically, I'm not actually sure what, the Qing Dynasty's historical borders were exactly. I can't help but feel that maybe a little bit of this is probably in there as well. Down here is where, historical Vietnam and stuff is, so based on the fact that there's Vietnam cores down here that could pop up. I thought I saw something that... Oh, Gulf of Tonkin. When I hovered over that, I read that as Gulf of Tolkien. Anyway, also you'll notice that our beautiful, beautiful heir Genghis here, who I almost called Angus for no particular reason, he has lived to be the ripe old age of 24, and his father, just doesn't want to die. Now that I actually want him to die, he won't die. Isn't that just typical, really? Anyway, so we're just finishing off our final conquest of the U here, and I suppose it'd be a good idea to fight, to take calm or something, but this is going to be the final episode, but at the end of the episode, we're going to form the Qing Dynasty, but then I'm going to, I think, stop there. Well, that'll be the end of the episode, so of course I'm going to stop there, and then I'm just going to sort of alternate save, and then maybe I'll do some kind of, sporadic bonus round episodes where we stay as Manchuria and just, use the power of the Horde to conquer over, and I'll do some kind of time lapse or something type stuff. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. If this is the final episode, which I think it's going to be, if if I should even do something like that, or if I should just wrap things up and move on to new stuff anyway. But yeah. Alright. Anyway, that is more or less what I have to say on that particular regard. So, we can actually eat all of them, and they'll just accept that, apparently. There's all these people who would love to form a coalition against me, but no one has the balls to. Because, we are the awesome Manchurian horde of awesomeness. And of course, we're a horde. And we're about to not be a horde, but... you gotta burn everything to the ground one last time. Also, I guess going to be mildly ironic that Genghis is going to be the ruler, probably the first ruler of a non-horde. Why can't I click on you and raise you? I can raise this. Oh, god damn it, I forgot to take Canton. Damn it, the tiny little... Missed it. Oh well, at least it means I don't have to deal with these guys. Also, let's raise... Oh, there's... what is this? It's only 5. And of course, the hordes demand even more land. They always do, because, they're just jerks like that. Also, I've picked up religious ideas, because I figure if we stopped being a horde, then that would be kind of useful. Alright. And also, again, we're a horde. We don't really need forts. We have a couple of forts here and there, but do we really need them? Probably not. And, the big thing I will be really glad to be done with is not having the tribal estate anymore. That'll be really, really nice. These guys are going to rebel any day now. Good for them. I'll just kill those noble rebels over there. You know what? What the heck. I don't need to burn it down, but I'm going to burn it down anyway. What kind of horde would I be if I didn't burn stuff down, right? That's what I say. Sure, you can have military access. Why not? Probably gonna conquer you in a second, but, might as well. Might as well be a proper and polite, gentle horde. But yeah, also, never pro thing. Look at this. We can have almost 200,000 men. And also, with one simple trick, I was able to massively increase my income. Basically, I noticed when I got a free merchant from having, Alaska be, the proper size, that I could fiddle things around. And things are going to get even more different once we become the Qing Dynasty, because we can proceed. Like, this will automatically become our capital. But looking at trade right now, I mean, we get 5.38 ducats here. I mean, if we conquer Japan, then we'll pretty much dominate this node, because they're stealing trade from me, basically, at this point. They're stealing my money somehow, even though we're not trading with them, or something. Anyway, yeah, so we collect 5 ducats here, and we collect a whopping 14 ducats here. So what'll happen once Beijing becomes our proper node is, 1, this merchant won't need to be here anymore. We can move him somewhere else, like down here, to suck even more trade into the node. And this will, instead of collecting trade, push trade in here. So presumably what's going to happen is we'll just get massive, massive, massive amounts of ducats. It'll just be gurgling and churning their way, you know, into things. And generally, life will be good. Anyway, that is that. Yeah, you know what? We should fight Shagate. We'll fight all our rebels and deal with them first, I guess. I mean, if we have to, I suppose. I don't want to release Vietnam. This is also kind of silly, but we drop autonomy pretty quickly, both because we're an empire and there's some kind of horde modifier. No, our current leader modifier does this. I can't believe I missed one province. Then again, in fairness, this is like the tiniest province in the game. Like, why does it exist? Why? It doesn't even need to exist. It's just there, clearly for the sole purpose of annoying me. Like, obviously, there can't be any other logical explanation for why it exists, other than to be a constant thorn in my side. Let's also make Bengal a rival again, so we can get some more sweet rivalry stuff going on there. We'll also deny you trade access to my land, because why not? There we go. And I mean, we can afford pretty good stuff. You know, I don't need this fort here either. I'm gonna hold on to this one because it's, you know, right on the border with Bengal, and it kind of makes sense. Also, Malaysia or Malacca here is allied with Bengal, so they'll be a bit of a problem as well. But such is life. Let's see, extra discipline. I like the sound of that. Plus, it'll result in less stability cost. Plus, extra land leader shock apparently. So that's reasonably good. I can't complain too much about that. 4 years, 5,000 years, 8 years, 10 years. You know, you got all these guys here who are, you know, they're interested in rebelling, but I don't think they really have what it takes to rebel. What are the cultures looking like in here? There's a lot of cultures in here. I'm tempted to just vassalize these guys. No particular reason, just because I can. But, I mean, I do kind of want to tidy up the borders by eating calm here, because this is like into the... Yeah, it's like all in Tibet and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure when China annexed Tibet historically. But, I don't think it was in the 1500s. I could be wrong. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that much about Asian history. Most of my knowledge is just about sort of the general gist of, like, Genghis Khan's conquests and stuff. A tiny bit of what was going on over in Japan, just a tiny bit. Like, not even enough to say I really know anything. Most of my knowledge of history comes, of course, from, like, European history and stuff, because, you know, I'm from a Western part of the world, and apparently we only talk about the Western part of the world in the West, which is kind of silly, I suppose, when you think about it, because it's generally a good idea, I would imagine, to know about what was going on in other parts of the world as well. This merchant is also probably like, why do I even have him here? Like, that's just silly, now that I think about it. Instead, this guy should be transferring trade. Where's the guy in California? Yeah, you transfer trade over to Beijing. I'll transfer even more trade to Beijing. Oh my goodness, it's gonna take like 500 million years for you to get over here. But that's okay. That actually apparently a whole extra ducat. Whoop-de-doo. What is going on over here? The enemies. Alright, I can kind of sit here. Let's also look at our cash flow. Like, look at that. 21 ducats a month. We are just god kings among men here. I don't have quite enough money to afford that. We're, you know, massively ahead of time. So, I guess I'll just chuck a couple of ducats in here, or something. Because why not? And by ducats, I mean Dramatic power. Because why not? I mean, you know, I've got nothing better to spend it on. There we go. Just enough to try to slow things down so that we don't have an immediate implosion. Alright, let us go ahead and build the Green Standard Army, as I am calling it. It's a nice, another, like, look at this manpower we have. We are, like, no one can stand in our way. Not even the Ottomans. In fact, let's look at the stats of the world. How are we shaping up here? I mean, okay, they have a bigger force limit than us. But that's probably because they picked up quantity ideas or something. Did you pick up quantity ideas? I bet you did. Yeah. You and your silly quantity ideas. Oh, you did take offensive ideas as well, which gives you even more land as well. But overall, wait, what was this red thing I saw over here? You know what, let's actually take a tour of the world, because I feel we're kind of in an endgame scenario here. Let's see what life looks like. I mean, we've got... Scotland is actually still independent, which... Probably because they have all these allies. They're allied with Muscovy. I guess that makes a certain level of sense here. The Great Horde still exists. They start off as the Great Horde and then can reform into the Golden Horde. Not entirely sure why that's a change or why that was changed. I honestly, I don't know what there's probably some kind of story behind that I don't know because again, I mean, this is like basically, like, this side of the Balkans is, like, where the end of the Western world is, effectively. You know, just down here in general Greece-ish areas. Anyway, it's actually kind of funny when you think about it, because Greece, which is considered, like, you know, the birthplace of, and, like, the heart and the soul of where Western civilization came from, is, like, on the edge of the Western world. I find that funny, now that I think about it. I mean, of course, and there's some contentiousness about... you know, how accurate that is and what exactly Western is, but anyway, yeah. I mean, even my history of the history of Europe is not even that detailed. I know, like, a bit. I could talk a little bit about it. Just a tiny bit. I probably even need, like, a refresher course on it, but... I mean, in general, I just find history interesting, and even though, I mean, being a game that as soon as you unpause the game, you can immediately take history off the rails, I still like the historical flavor that you can read, like, even if you just read, like, the idea groups, you can get some stories here, some ideas of, like, what was going on in, like, various parts of the world, and, you know, different cultures get the idea of, like, who they were, and in the case of nations that still exist today, who they are, and how they got to where they are. It's good stuff. And of course, I also subscribe to the notion that, you know, if you don't actually pay attention to history and learn about history and know history, then, I mean, you have, like, I think the world would be a much better place. Let's rename this Dwarf Fleet while we're at it. It would be a much better place if more people took the time to learn history. And not just their own history, though that's really important, I think, to know your own history, but also the history of other people. Because then you can start getting an idea of why other people think the way they do and why they do things the way they do. And if you start understanding that, then, you know, actually interacting with them becomes a lot more, I guess, well, just more interesting, I suppose, for one. And for two, you know, it just becomes more meaningful. It becomes better. Because the more you know about someone, then the easier it is to understand, you know, like, where their point of view is, and then you can, you know, maybe try to work with that instead of against it, as sometimes happens in the real world today. Anyway, enough of that. I generally don't like getting too real about the real world, because, you know, it's never really a good idea to go too in-depth talking about real-world politics and stuff. Especially because I imagine many of us like to watch videos such as this on YouTube to get away from the drama of the real world. So let us have one last great conquest before we wrap up things in our lovely conquest series here. Bengal is once again no longer a valid rival. They keep doing that. They can't really make up their mind. I have no idea where they're... Oh, there's their army. I was gonna say, a little concerned about them. Alright, you can go there, you can go there. They're probably just gonna sit there if I had to guess. What's going on over here? You know what? Fine. Just everyone gets military access. You don't even really need it, and you're probably not even going to take advantage of it, but you know, why the heck not, right? I'll give it to you if that's what you really want in your life. What is this? Ooh, holy crap. Yeah, that would be kind of useless. Gain a conquistador or an explorer. What? Wow. This is actually a really interesting... Fascinated by tales. The Coggin. Incidentally, apparently, like, I think it's like right at the beginning of the EU4 timeline, or right before it, Ming had they had embarked on a great exploration mission to Africa. Which, I mean, whenever you hear stories like that, because the general stuff you may think is that, you know, like, Europe and Asia never came into contact with each other, and Africa for that matter, never came into contact with each other until, like, the Europeans came sailing over, but au contraire. I mean, apparently the Ming Dynasty sailed all the way over to Africa. They, like, I assume they did some surveying and some looting and raiding and pillaging and conversation and stuff. They grabbed a bunch of animals, I guess, to bring back to the Emperor's zoo. And then after that, apparently the Ming said, you know what, screw the rest of the world, we don't want anything to do with you, we're the best, screw off. Or something like that. Which, personally to me, seems kind of silly, but, you know, sometimes that's how people see the world. Which goes on to my whole talk about learning history. Let's see. I mean, you know what, I'd actually like that free explorer because we have a navy that is floating around here somewhere. You, good sir. You're actually just a pair of cogs. So I assume you're not actually going to be able to explore, are you? You are not. Okay. In that case, let us build a couple of transports, or not transports, we want some of these fellows. We only need 3 of them, actually. And I suppose I might as well build a couple more. And assuming I don't forget about them, we will build some kind of exploration fleet that will continue to explore the world and attempt to discover what is going on. So let's see here. You are at war with Bahamanus, and that's probably what's causing it, because they're losing men, then they're gaining men, then they're losing men again. Anyway, yes. Anyway, interesting stuff overall is basically where I'm going with all this talk of history and the like. I'm just gonna make our current Coggin the leader here, because, I mean, look at this guy. It's actually funny, they have the same stats. I really hope Genghis doesn't die of some unfortunate accident, but he probably is. I mean, again, it's one of those things where in my head I know that there is no actual mathematical thing that causes really good heirs to die more often, but in my heart, I am sure there is some kind of crazy shenanigan stuff going on there. Because I say so, dang gummit. Also, there was something about tea and sugar. That's cool, I guess. Alright, could you hurry up and, you know, blow the walls down? That's unfortunate. Oh well, I didn't need that one guy anyway. But I'm gonna build, in fact, several more guys. Let's see, 23, 24, and 25. Because why not? Oh, you're actually gonna go ahead and fight my battles for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, so we're making massive amounts of money. We're doing great. Everything is going really, really well. And overall, I don't think at this point in time anyone will ever be able to actually provide a real challenge for us. Which is another reason why I'm kind of considering ending the campaign right here. Because, again, what's this? Conquer Phnom Penh, which I'm butchering the pronunciation of that. Where is this place? No, oh, it's right there. Alright, I can do that. In fact, we can probably do that before the end of the episode. Alright, I'll do it. Because you ask it of me, I shall do it. Champa. Oh, I can't even eat them all in one war. That's disappointing. Well, I at least... Actually, let's see. How do these areas break down? Oh, good. I actually picked correctly, as it were. War reps. There we go. And again, we'll just burn everything to the ground, because why not? Why not, says I? I mean, gets us extra points. Oh, I'm actually wasting points there. I wanted to test just to make sure that if I was, like, capped, if I rated, if it would bring me over the cap. The answer is no, it will not, which is kind of unfortunate, but these things happen. I suppose I shouldn't spend too many points, because we are only 9 years away from the next great institution coming up. Alright then. Bloop, 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 bloop. Alright, let's finish this war. You have no allies. Show superiority, conquest, and then we will form the glorious Qing Dynasty. And that's where I think we'll also leave this series, like I said. Though I may come back to do some kind of like time-lapse thing where we do even more conquest. Just for fun. Depends, really. I'm not sure if I'll do that. I might not. I guess it all depends on interest, really. Who am I building? Oh, Shagate. Oh, okay. Wondering what was going on there. I was like they just vassalized them. But then again, nah. Alright, our Master of the Mint has died. Now, technically, we could afford at least a couple level 3 advisors, but let's just go with level 1s for now. I mean, except for this guy. I mean, Diplo Rep. Also, what I find really funny is that these are all white guys. Like, here we are in Asia, and, like, apparently we're hiring Europeans. Even though we technically have no contact with Europe as of yet. Which I find absolutely hilarious. And just, you know, it's one of those things. Let's see. 75%, I mean, I don't actually have the economy to build up to, like, the almost 200 million guys that we can build there. Though it is pretty awesome. Alright, there we go. Rival of our rival. Malacca. Malacca really like me? I mean, I guess they could. Maybe. I could ally them. What the heck. It's a decent enough mission, and I'll break this alliance later. When it's no longer convenient for me. In classic Horde-style fashion. Anyway, this is it. The grand finale. Here we are. Could we have conquered more? Probably. Will we conquer more? Maybe. But for now, just gonna go ahead and save so that I can kind of revert this later if I do in fact decide to go back and just hoard it up some more and conquer more stuff. Which I am tempted to do. Let's also make Bengal a rival again, because that's just awesome to be able to continuously cheese that like that. In fact, I'll resave this again. And here it comes, my friends. This is the moment that we have basically, this whole campaign has been about. Bada bing, bada boom. We get our awesome kick-ass flag here. Also get a new event, Enforce Our Heritage. Ooh, extra missionary strength. Oh my god, repair the Great Wall. That's amazing! Which also makes me hope that our current leader dies so that Genghis gets in charge. Increases fort maintenance, but increases fort defense. That actually sounds terrible. What about you? Have $994. Wait, the Forbidden... Really? It was the Qing Dynasty that founded the idea of the Forbidden City? And I still have the Green Standard Army? I mean, considering the fact Ming doesn't exist, I'm never going to be able to pass this event. I find that funny. But yeah, the Forbidden City, what does this do for us? Lose a bunch of ducats, lower stability cost, increase prestige. I mean, that's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I mean, the Great Wall one is absolutely useless, I'd say. This is also a good reason for having religious ideas, I would say. If I had to guess. And plus that extra 2 missionary strength, really good. So anyway, here we are. We're a slightly lighter shade of golden yellow. We have an awesome kick-ass dragon as our symbol now. And in general, we have fulfilled our true destiny to unify China, form the Qing Dynasty, and unlike the historical Qing Dynasty, we will probably continue to conquer the world, take Constantinople, and form like the 4th Rome. 4th Rome? 3rd Rome. What Reich is this? I mean, Germany hasn't been formed yet. Ottomans, Holy Roman Empire. I don't know. Anyway, that said, also Japan is probably going to get annexed at some point as well. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode. So until the next, and this series, in fact. So until the next time, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you in our next campaign, and I will see you all next time.